Good morning. Thank you for joining today's Global Harmonization. For those of you that never been to a Global Harmonization before, this is where a group of us meet together each day to step into a little meditation, reflect, and set some intentions throughout the day, and really lead life with the heart forward, with love, with compassion. Well, not compassion. It's a whole story on that word. However, the joy usually is assigned with compassion, the kindness, the joy, and really being able to relate to one another, connection, and bringing the best self to surface for every single moment, every single day out here into this world. So thank you for being here. Great to see you, August. Always first one to chime in right on. It's really, really nice to see. Appreciate it quite a bit. So today I was going to talk a little bit about remembrance and restoration. And this is very near and dear to me because there's been this school of thought that I've been exposed to around how. So I'm putting this out there, and let me know if this seems like it vibes with you. I think it's very plausible for many reasons, and I've got some let's say skepticism to see if this is inaccurate. So I'm very open-minded about this. There's this school of thought that when we are born, we have everything imprinted in our DNA, everything that we will need to know. All of our gifts there are intact. We have everything that is important, everything that's needed for our lives. It's imprinted in our DNA and our cellular structure, in our inner knowingness. And then there's this conditioning that happens as we grow up, which is the idea of schooling, with the idea of getting people in preschool right away, getting people through the primary 12, and getting people into higher education to indoctrinate them to a certain set of beliefs where there's cultural norms that are impressed upon, and that's what starts to create one's delusion of actually who they are. Like, we're actually all born knowing fully well what our purpose is, yet somehow along the way there's this conditioning that's been created by this machine, by the past, by whatever, by the cosmic consciousness, that really domesticates the individual, takes the wild out of the individual, and then puts them on the path of, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And the choices are like, well, when I was growing up, it was really business. Do you want to go into business? 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 Right? And then I had choices within business. Like, you could do marketing, you could do advertising, you could do sales, you could be a manager who that's what you want to be. That's what I was taught. And a lot of people, it's math and sciences, at least my generation. I think there's a little resurgence going on right now in the arts. And here I am now with this new child. So when I learned about this idea that you're actually born knowing all of this stuff, and then it gets kind of defeated and taken out, and my remembrance of my growing upness, I remember that there was things that, like, my heart was just like, go do that. And I heard a lot of no's, you can't do that because, and it doesn't really matter what comes after because. It wasn't because I was going to kill myself. It was just because that's not societal norm. And because that doesn't fit into the architecture of the rules that are already created. And that consistent wearing on one, and then the impressions put on by the media and TV before news, like growing up, right? Cartoons, the stories that are related in those cartoons, the different shows that are on TV, they can have a profound impact. So I grew up with the Goonies, watching that over and over and over again, and seeing how There was always like this hero's journey. There's always a quest. There was mystery. That was the era that I grew up in. It was like this quest, mystery, find yourself, reveal yourself, find your greatness, solve whatever is in front of you, overcome all odds type stories, Rocky type stories. And today, or most recently, like a lot of the stories are around the drama, the glitz, the glam, which is, I think, even more distracting. I think the hero's journey, what set me on a certain course to, the hero's journey, you can be the villain, the victim, the savior. That's pretty much it, right? So those are the characters. Everything else is a supporting role, but the three main really are villain, victim, and savior. Right? Those three get cast, and that's what one is programmed to become if they're going to be a leading role in life. If they subscribe to this media. But what if we never watched any of this media? What if we just worked together as individuals and people just became who they became as they became that person? There was an interest in music and they moved into that. There was an interest in art and they moved into that. So some of you may have had that kind of upbringing. I know many people have, where their family was very supportive. The culture they were in was very supportive. So if you have, God bless you. God bless you. If you haven't, and you're more like story like me, it's like my parents were doing the best they could, knowing what they knew, and they were getting out of their own situation, getting themselves into a place where they could actually pay the bills and be able to feed their family, right? So I'm by no means complaining about anything that I was brought up with. Just the fact of way society worked in that time and the media that was putting out, there were certain themes that were common. And when I use what's outside of me to identify who I am, then I'm gonna have a limited perspective of what's possible, because I'm only seeing what's around me. And especially as a child, because I'm sheltered, I'm innocent, I only have the people that are in my immediate surroundings. So if you ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, great book if you haven't read it, by Robert Kiyosaki, the premise is about, he grew up in a poor family, but has had a friend whose father was rich, and just the difference in the mindsets that they had. And the rich dad, of course, was much more open-minded, and he looked at things from a much more positive or solution aspect of how can I use whatever this problem is and turn it into an opportunity, whereas the poor dad was like, oh man, the system's got me down. So what I found in this meditation, with this practice, in every meditation practice, whether it's yoga here, what we do, even throughout the day, is coming back and remembering to who I am, what is really flowing through me, as me, Fizz. I had to fight for my right to rock. And there's an LOL after it, but it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Like that is your gift. That is exactly, like that's what you're born to do. And whatever has happened prior to now has happened prior to now to get you to exactly where you got to be, right? So you can rock and you can appreciate it maybe so much. And with each meditation, with each moment of surrender, each death, right, to any of the stories, like I could have a story if I was Fizz. I'm going to use you because you always pop in here and I really vibe with it. Could you easily use it as a story? Like I'd be so much farther along had I not had to fight for my right to rock. And if I had been supported, I have had that story around racing motorcycles. I had to fight for my ability to do that. And that was an interesting dynamic. And there was many years where I was angry and I blamed and I had shame around it all. And I was more projecting and shaming other people, and really, really frustrated because I felt forced and shielded and held down, depressed around the matter. and I had to fight for it. However, in each moment of death, like surrendering from right now to now, there's a certain amount of death that occurs. Whatever was just a moment ago no longer exists. And when I can release those stories of blame and see that I'm exactly where I need to be, exactly everything has unfolded from the beginning of my awareness to now to put me into the place that I'm in so that I could be experiencing life exactly as I am now. A certain amount of death happens. It's like a little mini egoic death. Sometimes they're bigger than others, right? There's death to the story. And when those deaths happen, a new life is birthed, and a remembrance from the heart has a chance to come back through and flow out. So now, I think, Fizz, you probably could speak to this, like having to fight for your right to rock, how much has that impacted your knowledge about how much you desire to do it, like your willingness to give and put all out? Like, does it show you, does it amp you up, or do you feel defeated? In my experience, I found that the more I fought for something, it showed me how, and not really fought for it, but just created the reality is really, really what it was. So I'm using the word fight because you got it here. It's just I had to continue putting constant effort in a certain direction and learning that tenacity, learning that perseverance is absolutely a key component to life. So having that learning lesson around something I was passionate about is a beautiful thing. So really what I'm getting at is, if there's anything from the past that's holding you back, you're the one choosing that. You're choosing to believe that here and now. You're 100% responsible for that choice. And the more that you believe it, the more you're going to hold yourself back. And you might see that Sally would judge me, and Tom would fire me, and this person would leave me, and that this thing would happen if I changed. And that may all be true. But you're the one choosing to stay the same. You're the one choosing your circumstances, which is perfectly fine if you love your circumstances. But never let somebody else, or what you think somebody else will think about you, right? It's not even, it could be like, Sally's going to think I am a flake, so I'm not going to do that because I don't want Sally to think I'm a flake. It's actually that I'm thinking that Sally's going to think that I'm a flake. It's not even that I know for sure she's going to think that. It's actually a delusion. It's like straight up, I'm thinking that someone else is going to think this, and I don't want them to think this about me, but I'm the one thinking it in the first place. I'm actually literally the one thinking it in the first place. I'm thinking that this person's thinking that I am da-da-da. I'm making up the story. I'm always in control of the story. And this weird dynamic happens as one remembers their true self, and as one has the courage to have that tenacity that I'm just talking about with Fizz here, to be able to persevere, to move through and make the changes and have the most difficult conversations. As one has the courage to do that, things shift. Like, things shift from all directions. Just like Tom might fire me and Sally might talk ill of me or not be friends with me anymore, I might actually need them out of my life. I might need to be fired from my job to go into the right thing for me. I may need Sally to be way over there and not even in my sphere anymore. Or Sally might be bad-mouthing me to Jeffrey, and Jeffrey may actually stick up for me and want to put me in a better job position than Tom had. Whatever. There's all kinds of mysterious ways that this universe works. The only way that the outcome becomes at its highest possible is through truth, is through the truth. And who gets to speak the truth? Who gets to speak the truth? I do. I do. You do. And who knows my truth? I do. Who knows your truth? You do. And the more that you give me that truth, the more that it's going to be reflected back on you. And sometimes the truth may hurt, right? Sometimes the truth may be ugly. It may piss me off. However, that's only that part of change, my willingness to like switch directions, just like in a car. If I want to turn sharp, I get pulled to the side, right? Like the force of momentum, gravity is throwing me this way, and I turn. I might even get a little whiplash. I might have to brace myself for this. Whoa, this crazy turn is coming. And the truth is like that turn, right? It's like, oh, when if I haven't been speaking it, or maybe I have been speaking it, and all of a sudden a new truth comes up, and it's like a brand new turn. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. I got to make a left here. Whoop, make the left, and all kinds of crazy things can seem to happen because I'm going off the path that I was on before. But the moment that I have that truth and have that moment, bam, everything shifts. Everything shifts. Everything shifts. What's inside of me shifts, and the whole world around me shifts. My whole experience. And that's why living from this heart, doing these harmonizations in the morning, why it's so freaking meaningful, because it actually literally changes the experience of reality, not just for the person doing it, but every single person that they impact now gets a taste of truth. They get a little more light. And the more light that's brought out, well, I don't have to tell you about that, what light does to darkness. I know you already all know that. I got to be the change you wish to see in the world. Choices are an important part of each soul. We must live with them until our time is up. And I mean, that be the change you wish to see in the world. It's said so succinctly. It's such a perfect way to say it. I heard it so many times and didn't get it throughout my life. For years, I didn't get it. Because I didn't see how the mirror effect, how the hologram, how everything is a reflection of who I'm being. I didn't see it for many years. I think everybody here sees it. Another good one that I think ties into that is Wayne Dyer would say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that was one of my favorites for a while. Because it's not that I'll believe it when I see it. It's when I actually believe it, I'll see it. And speaking that truth is a key component to this. So let's drop in to meditation. Thank you for that. I don't see your name on here. I appreciate you dropping that note because it's so paramount. Like, be the change. Be the change you wish to see in the world. And if you don't wish to see any more changes, then be exactly what you're being. You happy? You rolling with it? You feeling in love? You feeling greatness around you? You got abundance around you? Then maybe don't change it. Just enjoy it. I don't know. Or maybe you want to spice things up. So, thank you, Fizz, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being on. Appreciate it. Let's get into this harmonization. God bless you all. I'm going to start with a little bit of sound here. And as I ring this, let's just close our eyes, drop our shoulders back, tuck the chin back, and begin breathing in through the nose, filling the belly, filling the chest, slowing down, and just breathing in, becoming one with the inhalation and the exhalation. Just releasing in every single moment any of the old stories, the old paradigm that I might be living in. And allowing the heart to reveal anything that's yet to come to my awareness that allows me to express my courage, my truth, my love. And just breathing into that for a few minutes here. Let this vibration of this sound, this crystal bowl, create a resonance of pure freedom and possibility. Just breathing into the heart. Noticing how the light within continues to expand. Mind is calm. That inner peace of knowing that everything is in divine order. and inviting the heart to reveal any inner truths, any remembrances, any clarity that I came in with has been shielded, forgotten. Any of my gifts, allowing the mind to fill with gratitude, courage, insight. Inhaling into the new now, the moment of existence, new possibility. Awareness of how valuable my love is, my presence is. How I'm filled with this vibration of light, this pure frequency of truth. A free spirit, free mind, liberation. Bringing the hands in front of the heart in prayer position, pressing them together. Breathe in deeply. Allowing this final ring to reset any DNA, any cells, optimize the body. Pressing the hands together. I am the light. I am the truth. I am the life. Lowering the hands down. Thank you for joining today. God bless you all and have an amazing, amazing day. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. Thanks.